We're here trying out some more standard decks from the new Magic the Gathering set, Ikoria. Today we're playing with Sultai, Titan's Nest. Titan's Nest is a new card from Ikoria. 1 black, green, blue enchantment says that at the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library, you may put that card into your graveyard. And a second ability that lets you exile a card from your graveyard to add a colorless mana, and you can only spend this mana to cast a colored spell without X in its mana cost. So no Ugins, no artifacts, no X spells. But every turn you get to look at the top card of your library, get a little card selection, and then take these cards that you've used already, that you've filled up your graveyard with, and turn them into extra mana. We've got Fae of Wishes, and a Silver Bullet sideboard, Grafdigger's Cage, Lantern to get rid of graveyards, Ether Gust Negate, Elder Spell, Find Finality, Spyglass, Devious Cover-Up, Jace, Extinction Event, Shark Typhoon, Liliana, Thought Distortion, Kiora Best the Sea God, and Plane-Wide Celebration. So just, you know, a bunch of silver bullets that might be relevant as the in whatever situation we find ourselves in. We got some Thought Erasures, some Assassin's Trophy as removal, Sinister Sabotage to counter. Extinction Event is the mass removal spell of choice for this deck. Choosing odd or even, and exiling can sometimes leave us in situations where we get to keep our creatures, they don't, and also it exiles instead of just destroys. There is a lot of recursion going on in this current standard between all of the cat decks, the Luris stuff, you know, Uros, whatever the black-red version of Uro is that I don't recall at the moment. Speaking of Uro, we are also running some Uro. Cry, also a nice little mass removal spell for the recursion thing since it's exiles. Little ramp with growth spirals. So we're gonna try this out. We're gonna play best of 5 or 5 games on the ladder, best of 1, and see how it goes. See if we can end up with a winning record. Now this deck has a lot of moving parts. This is definitely not one of those decks that you'd shuffle it together and played near perfectly right off the bat. So I expect some mistakes to happen. We're still learning it ourselves. But this hand does seem to be a keep. Growth Spiral, Uro, Tamiyo. Oh, Tamiyo, another important part of this deck. Tamiyo both fills up your graveyard for the Titan's Nest, as well as can recur things that have been put into your graveyard already. Runaway Steamkin. We'll go ahead and grab a forest here. Now it's time to try to figure out what we want to play. We can Fae of Wishes for something in the sideboard. We can just cast Uro and then potentially even a Thought Erasure if we happen to draw an island. Or we can just play Tamiyo and tick up and like get a big Planeswalker on the board, and I think that's what we want to do. And we'll search for Cry of the Carnarium. Against mono red, not a bad hit. And we hit one, excellent. There's a Titan's Nest in the graveyard that we can go ahead and get back next turn.
I guess you do not want to talk.
So a couple options here. We can tick up Tamiyo again. Play the temple, but I think what I want to do is just cash in Tamiyo here. For this Fabled Passage. Grab a Swamp. And cast Cry. Take out 2 of their creatures. They don't get 1/1s for NX. And because we have 2 Fae of Wishes, I'm going to just play one here. I wanted to get that done this turn because I do not want the opponent to be able to get an Embercleave into play this turn by attacking with their 3 creatures. That Anax is huge. We'll play Uro. Gain some life. Extinction Event looks like it's going to be very good. So all we want to do is we can name Extinction Event on Odd. Let's Thought Erasure and make sure we get any Embercleave that they might have, and we do. Surveil a Titan's Nest. I actually am totally good with Titan's Nest. No attacks. We will go ahead and block the Anax. And next turn we can play Titan's Nest and Extinction Event. I think we want to just go ahead and not take 6. Keep our life total as high as possible. Here. We want to play Titan's Nest. And we're going to want to add 3 mana here. Now, the one bad thing about this deck is the interaction on MTGArena with Titan's Nest is kind of annoying. You can't add a bunch of mana at once. You can't just say, like, remove these 5 cards, add 5. They want you to do it one at a time, and you have to watch the animation for it. Now we're going to choose Odd here. Then we're going to Fae of Wishes as well. Take the Thought Erasure. Take the second Titan's Nest. And take the Tameo.
I have learned little here.
Go ahead and Fae of Wishes. Okay. And we get to grab whichever one we want. And I think in this situation, an Ether Gust seems pretty good. We can even go ahead and just take away their draw step this turn. And Ether Gust the Runaway Steamkin. Basically give us a full turn here. Oh, they'd put it on bottom. Interesting. I mean, yeah, I'll take the Uro. It's just a free 3 life. And I will certainly take Tameo. Tameo seems great here. How many cards in the graveyard? 6, so we could get an Uro into play. We're getting Tameo next turn. What are they doing next turn? They're getting to draw multiple cards. I think this is still right. I think getting our Uro into play is correct. We'll draw this Tameo, and it can still draw us some cards as well. Plus, having Uro in play against Mono Red seems quite good. Titan's Nest was pretty good this game. It let us cast multiple spells on a pretty pivotal turn. We got to Fae of Wishes. What did we get to do? We got to like Bay of Wishes and Ether Gust. At some point there was a extinction event in there as well. I certainly want this. Yes. First things first, let's go ahead and attack for 6, gain 3, and draw a card. We have no cards in the graveyard right now, so let's go ahead and fix that. And I would like to try and get... Oh... Maybe a Sinister Sabotage. Perfect. Although we really should not have at both of our islands if that was going to be the case. It's mildly unfortunate. We can just go ahead and play this Bay of Wishes then. But we're still at 21. Mono Red is running out of cards to play. We have a nice engine going, both with Uro and Tamiyo. And I think we just block here. We don't want Torbrand to kill our Tamiyo. Although it might. No, it does not. We can graveyard this Tamiyo. We'll name Extinction Event. Not quite. But now we have a whole bunch of mana to work with. First things first, let's draw a card, deal 6. And now we're going to go 1, 2, and 3. Search for a card outside. Auto pay. So many options. And they've had enough. We were probably going to just grab Kiora, Best of the Sea God there. Put an 8/8 with Hexproof into play. But we went ahead and got the win, and we were able to beat the Mono Red Menace. Which is very nice. Having legs against that deck feels pretty good. Yeah, this hand seems great. This seems to be exactly what I'm hoping for. Man, it's a little awkward with the Fabled Passage that we want to be a swamp early. I think we can just Temple of Mystery. Do I want a second Uro? I don't think I do. I think we're looking for a swamp. Oh, our opponent plays Gutter Bones. To the Temple. I don't think we really want Growth Spiral either. We just want to find some lands. Extinction Event should be very helpful against any deck that's trying to play Gutter Bones. Although against the Witch's Oven, you know, not quite as much. It means they will get to protect one of them. Go ahead and Uro, gain 3, get another land into play. Oh, we even get to put the Tri-Land into play. Excellent. Depending on what their turn is, we might Extinction Event this turn. We might try to get Titan's Nest rolling. Judith. Yeah. A Extinction Event Naming odd seems pretty good here. I'm gonna start getting cards in our graveyard. I think we want a second. Or a third island, yeah. This is taps for blue. We're gonna name Odd. So we're gonna permanently get rid of one Gutter Bones and a Judith. Oh, they didn't sack their Gutter Bones. The exile on that is a really big deal. Next turn we can Thought Erasure, see what they're working with, and then either get Titan's Nest or Sinister Sabotage going. Or Titan's Nest going or get Sinister Sabotage. The Mayhem Devil a little frustrating. I think here we'll see what they're doing first. Chandra Acolyte of Flame, Cauldron Familiar. Knight of the Ebon Legion. Tough. No reason to take Cauldron Familiar, they can just eventually bring it back. I think here we just take the Chandra. Love to put an Uro in the graveyard. Now the big question is, do I want Sinister Sabotage up, or do I want to play Titan's Nest? I'm going to take 3, go to 12, and they're going to start the cat combo. I don't like that. How many cards are in our graveyard? 5? So if we put Titan's Nest into play, next turn we get to play Uro. Although, Sinister Sabotage also makes card number 5 for the escape. This deck has a lot of moving parts. I certainly want that one, yeah. One, two, three, four, 5. I want to see if I draw a land to put into play. If so, I can play Titan's Nest this turn also. We did not, but we drew an Uro. Yes. I want to keep this one. Excellent. Here comes the Katarino. The cat with the Mayhem Devil will do a bunch of damage. But we also get to gain 3 ourselves every turn. And we're about to get double Titan's Nest going. I could like Extinction Event right now with like the Mayhem Devil and kind of like break up their combo a bit, but I think what I'd rather do is pay the 2 life and play Titan's Nest. Play it again, and then next turn we can Extinction Event if we need to. By getting 2 looks at the top of our library every turn, we get to basically go 3 deep if we need to. If necessary, we can Extinction Event for Odd next turn and take out the Devil. Especially now. That's certainly going to be one of the things we do next turn. The cat will still be going. Graveyard. Graveyard. Alright, that's potentially good. Go ahead and attack with Uro. Gain our 3 life. There's... Okay, Tameo seems nice. Could I actually... How much black mana do I have? I could cry. I have 2 cards, or 3 cards if necessary. But we can tap 2 black, 1 cry, play Tameo, get back cry, and cry again. I think that's pretty good. Then that also like holds up Extinction Event if necessary. Cameo.
Every story is an
Bring back Cry.
No tale should be discarded.
And then Cry. Alright. So, because of Cry, the other thing about Cry of the Carnarium is that it says exile all creature cards in all graveyards that were put there from the battlefield this turn. So it still got the cat. Graveyard. Graveyard. And they've had enough. And we were able to grind them out. Awesome. Oh, and it's a rank up video. Feels even better, man. So the cry having that extra line of text that's not just anything it kills gets exiled, but anything that was killed this turn gets exiled, provides a lot of interesting corner cases like that, which aren't really that corner case in the current standard environment. So Titan's Nest is 2-0. This hand seems fine. Turn 2 Growth Spiral, turn 3 Tameo. Favorite champion. I don't think we want that land. And I think next turn we'll Tameo and go for Cry. Yeah, maybe Extinction Event would be better.
Let us have a story battle worth to the library.
Yeah, we'll go with Extinction Event. Ah, should have picked Cry, unfortunate. Although we can always just bring it back next turn. I just didn't think the Cry would kill the Steamkin by the time we got to untap. 3 Fae of Wishes? What can we get in the sideboard? There's an Extinction Event in the sideboard. Also a Liliana. Depending on how many creatures they have. Could potentially like -4 to make them sacrifice 2 at some point. We have a Planeswalker with a lot of loyalty. Ooh, but they have a lot of creatures. Well, I don't think we wanted that Titan's Nest anyways.
I will not stand for such violence.
Let's see what we get from the temple. We don't want this. What are we taking next turn? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's before they cast anything else. So we might just be dead. But we gotta play as if we're not. So Extinction Event doesn't get everything. I think we need Find Finality and to like draw a land and to not be dead. We're dead to Embercleave. We're dead to a lot of different things. And there's the Embercleave. Okay. So we were unable to beat that hand from red. They even dealt 6 damage to a Planeswalker that we got into play on turn 3. They just went through a whole bunch of damage there. That's okay. 2-1 is a solid start. If we named Cry of the Carnarium, I don't think we would have won the game necessarily, but we could have certainly stabilized. Had a better chance of stabilizing. There are only 2 Cries in the deck and 3 Extinction Events, though. And I was correct that Cry would not have killed the Steamkin the following turn. But the way it worked out would have been better to call the other card. But that is okay. This hand also seems fine. I've been very impressed with Extinction Event. Nah, we don't need a second growth spiral. We've already got one. Spiral into our 4-drop is already happening. Oh, our opponent's playing Charming Prince. Potentially a Winota deck. I know Charming Prince is a human, but that's the only Boros deck I've really noticed of late. Certainly could be a matchup that Extinction Event shines in. Ah, okay. Let's see what we're doing here. Taking a lot of damage. We're not going to Extinction Event here. We can put Tamiyo into play. Have them focus on that and try to get an extra card or 2. Or we could just Assassin's Trophy the War Boss. Not take the 2 damage. And then have Extinction Event open. Creature tokens are considered even casting cost. So right now Extinction Event will kill both of these. Fairy.
Sorry I'm late. That's more like it.
Ruling you will be excellent research.
We'll go for Fae of Wishes.
I think you will find my notes helpful.
I think that's the best card to try to pull up here. A little unfortunate. Maybe I'm supposed to be calling for Titan's Nests. Gives us 3 of each color by picking an island. We can always -3 Tamiyo next turn. Grab Assassin's Trophy, kill the Teferi. Grab Titan's Nest, although that just gets bounced. Oh, they bounced their own Charming Prince.
great pyromancer.
If we get Fae of Wishes, we can Fae of Wishes for the Elder Spell. We have an Elder Spell in the grave in the sideboard. We will again look for Fae of Wishes.
I noted this somewhere.
Oh, we grabbed 2 of them. Excellent. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Fae of Wishes. Grab the Elder Spell. 1, 2.
We will meet again.
Put a bunch of loyalty on Tameo. We can always grab the Elder Spell back later now. Alright, Winota's a problem. Although at least it's even. They get to bring something else into play. Agent of Treachery. Yuck. Yeah, that's not great. That's pretty rough. They get something back now?
The storied past holds our future.
Okay, first things first, we need to Extinction Event on even. And that leaves us with 3 mana. Let's play this. Let's Extinction Event on even. Wipe out a bunch of their creatures. And then play this Fae of Wishes. They can get back the Legion War Boss, which isn't great. But we can Extinction Event on Odd this time if we want to. Luckily they did not find a Winota. No blocks. Nice Thought Erasure. Just wanted to Surveil. The Tameo blocks it. And Tameo's at such a high loyalty that we're not going to get to do anything about that for quite a while. What do we do here? Let's Fabled Passage first. We're gonna Fae of Wishes again. Question is what we're gonna get. We can get a negate for the Chandra, but then they can just like get it back. Get Cure Best of Sea God. We can just get Sorcerer's Spyglass. Or if we think we have time, we can do Plane Wide Celebration. Do we have time? We don't have a lot of time, no. Plane Wide Celebration. Play the Fae of Wishes. That gives us 2 blockers. They can get back any of these cards.
Let me aid your research.
This Tameo is crushing us. That Winota hit was huge. I think we were well ahead until then.
I've learned a bunch of new burn spells to try on you.
Okay. The Plane Wide Celebration can... There's our own Tameo?
Little guys are great.
No, we don't have a second Tameo. Ugh. Actually, I think I want to do this. It's what? 2, 4, 5, 6. Then we can Extinction Event Odd. Make a bunch of creatures. Gain some life. Oh, we can't do both though. Yeah, this is rough. Get to gain 4 life 4 times. Get to gain 16. That's 7. Gain 4, gain 4. So it takes us to 9. Then we can make some 2/2s. Yeah. Don't love it. I do not love it.
To the library.
Okay, they kill a 2/2.
Remember this one?
They did shuffle their card, or discard and draw a card. Okay. Now we can do this. This, and this. That takes us to 4. And it kills the war boss at least. Titan's Nest. Okay, let's Growth Spiral first. I don't think I want to put that in the battlefield. I want to cycle that. Ugh. Put Titan's Nest into play. I can then Extinction Event for Odd. Yeah, this just is not gonna work. Could not quite get there. Them taking our Tamiya with Agent of Treachery was just a little too good. We're very close to being okay. We just don't quite have enough time. I think the plane-wide celebration was a mistake, but I don't know what the correct thing to pick was, and we just kind of had the clock winding down on us and picked what we thought. Perhaps like this deck should have 3 of Tamiyo and Titan's Nest so that we can get it with Fae of Wishes. Then we go ahead and do 2 and 2. Let's hopefully get to 3 and 2. I feel like that was a game we could have made a couple adjustments on. As I said at the beginning of the video, this is definitely one of those decks that has a lot of moving parts. It's got a lot of things going on. Very hard to just pick it up and play it correctly. It is a work in progress. But you don't get to learn how to play something well until you play with it a bunch. I guess I can wait. There's no reason to. Oh, Cry of the Carnarium could be good in this matchup if they're a blue-black flash deck. Extinction Event also could be pretty good. You want a blue or green land? Ah. Okay. So we've got a lot of ramp that has happened. We have a lot of cards in the graveyard already. Not quite enough, but getting close. We have another Uro in hand. We draw another swamp, what we'll do, or another black source, what we'll do is, oh no, that actually works perfectly. Not perfectly, it's actually a 3/3. Well, we can just Extinction Event naming even, so let's go ahead and Thought Erasure them first. Oh, this is odd now. I see. We can Extinction Event naming odd and get both of these. Spectral Sailor. Brazen Borrower. One of the Sea. I'm gonna take this thing. Because this thing does not die to Cry of the Carnarium. And everything else does. We're going to name Odd. And if they want to put in a Spectral Sailor into play so that they get to draw a card, well then we get to take that too. Next turn we get to play Uro and Cry of the Carnarium, which should be pretty good. Kill both of their creatures. Get a 6/6 into play. Sinister Sabotage, Oh, we actually don't get the 6/6 into play. We don't have the mana to do both the things we want to do there. Alright, kill both of those. Now at least, like, our Sinister Sabotage is unlocked. Next turn we get to get Uro into play. Ah, we actually had a sequence error there. We should have cried first. And then played Uro, because we lost our second Uro. Thanks to it going to the graveyard, and then the cry happening. So a slight error, but actually when we have Cameo, probably should keep the cries and the extinction events. Get to gain 3, draw a card, put a land into play. We have Sinister Sabotage. We do get blown out if they have the flash thing that makes it where flash spells can't be countered, but... Although I don't know if, like, Petty Theft actually has flash. Ah, we certainly want a Tameo, thank you. Glad we went ahead and made sure that, we removed the correct things. So if they would have cast the Brazen Borrower as just Brazen Borrower, we would have gotten owned there, because when we tried to sabotaged the borrower, they could have replayed, or they could have flashed in the Night Bonder. Oh. Surge Bat, huh? But now they're both even? Excellent.
You would make an excellent informant for my study.
No reason to show them that we have a
I
second
learned
one.
much from my ancestors.
Even. How many cards are in our graveyard now? 5, and we have a Tameo +1 coming. I think we'll look for Fae of Wishes.
You will find my notes helpful.
Oh, 3 Uros. Go ahead and remove 1, 2, 3. No, not 3. 3, 4, 5. Yes. That way, if we want to use this Tameo to get a counter spell, we can. Or some removal spells, we can. And sure, we'll put the breeding pool into play. Go up to 9. If their last card is the Bat, they can kill Uro, attack us for 3, draw a card, and then we'll have to Extinction Event. We will go ahead and go Fae of Wishes again.
I know I noted this somewhere.
Unfortunate. Oh, there we go. Fae of Wishes, and we can get one of many different things. Shark Typhoon seems pretty good. Or Best of Sea God seems pretty good. Liliana seems pretty good. I think we just take Liliana. And they've had enough. And we are able to win. We get in the win column again with a 3 and 2. Whew. So let's go back to this deck and take a look at it. Now that we finished up. I thought it was really fun. The sideboard Silver Bullets could be better. I wouldn't mind having, maybe one of the Tameos in there, because there were a couple, at least one game where we would have loved to have been able to Fae of Wishes for Tameo. But the deck seemed fun. Titan's Nest is a little annoying to use on MTGArena, but had a couple turns where it let us cast more spells than we should have been able to. Helped us filter through our deck a little bit, get some card selection. Fae of Wishes, as it's been since it's come out, enables you to have some pretty nice things out of the sideboard. Very versatile, adapts to the situation well. Growth Spirals and Uros are obviously good. Extinction Event was great. I'm a big fan of that card. And I also like running some Cries. Now, we made a couple sequencing errors with it. Again, I reiterate one final time that this deck has got a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of stuff going on. It definitely takes some time to get used to it, some practice to play it well. I know we didn't do it super great, But for a quick trial run of seeing how we liked it, I think it worked out well. We went 3-2. We beat Mono Red. We beat the Blue Black Flash deck. We lost to Jeskai Winota and Mono Red. And I don't quite remember what the other deck we beat was. Oh, the cat deck. The Rakdos Sacrifice deck. So we played some very real decks and hung in there. I think the only game that was a blowout against us was the Mono Red deck, where we were on the draw and just couldn't quite keep up with them. But that happens to a lot of decks. So all in all, I thought this was fun. I thought it was enjoyable. If it looked good to you, definitely check it out. And thank you for watching.